Okay, welcome to the latest edition of the Iscah Q&A Series. This week's edition is about accountants, dental technicians, retail managers, IT, general skilled applications, New South Wales sponsorship, auditors, a little bit of everything except footy because my footy team's not going well, so let's get on to some visa questions. Okay, we've taken a dozen questions from our Facebook page over the last week, edited them slightly, and here are our answers which may help you with your situation. First question, what options are available for dental technicians? Okay, so as some of you may know, dental technicians has come off the skilled list from the 1st of July this year. So if you want to apply for a 485 visa under that occupation, you must get your results before the 1st of July 2016 and lodge your 485 before that date. After that date, certainly for the next program year, it's not on the skilled list. 485s is no longer an option. 189s won't be an option either after the 1st of July. So company sponsorship is still an option. So 457, 187s, if you complete your studies at any time in Australia, complete a diploma of dental technology, for example, then you can still get company sponsorship. 457, 187, that option is always there. The points test is also an option if the occupation of dental technician appears on a state list, but you need the full skills assessment. And to get a full skills assessment, you either need to be an overseas qualified dental technician and get a full skills assessment from the TRA, or you need to go through the Job Ready program. Now, if you can't get a 485 to go through the Job Ready program, because as I said, 485s you can't apply for after the 1st of July, so it's only those ones who've already got a 485 can do that. The only other option of going through the Job Ready program is to get a 457 company sponsored visa, and for the first year go through the Job Ready program. Then hope to meet the points test after that 1 year. But most people who get a 457 company sponsorship won't bother going through the Job Ready program. They'll use that company to apply for permanent residence at some stage. Okay, next question. Why do these new rules affect me? As I applied for my EOI in 2015, why does the 2016 rule changes affect me? I'm an accountant. Alright, so this person's talking about the fact that accountant is only invited on a pro rata basis now. Simple answer, the new rules, or immigration can always change the rules for people who have not yet lodged a visa application. So just because you lodge an EOI in 2015, if immigration come along and change their way of inviting people in 2016, and you haven't lodged your visa yet, it will affect you. So unfortunately that's an immigration rule. Okay, when will we know how many places there are for each occupation in 2017? Okay, so the 2016-2017 program year, the number of skilled people is very similar to the last program year, but what hasn't been announced are the occupational ceilings for each occupation. So for example, accountant last year had around 2,500, external auditor had about 1,000. The problem with that was that there weren't enough places for the amount of people applying, local graduates applying under that occupation. So we'll know very soon about the occupational ceilings. Immigration have said mid-June, so we're about 2 weeks away. So that's critical for us to then judge how many people might get invites and how long that might take. Okay, is there any chance to get an invitation under the occupation of management accountant at 60 points, or is that assessed as an accountant? Also, I live in Sydney. What options are there for New South Wales sponsorship? How much do you charge through your agency? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, accountants and management accountants are treated exactly the same. They have the same first 4 digits in their ANSCO coding. So the limit for accountants also affects management accountants. So at the moment you need 70 points to get an invite at that occupation. Some people at 65 points might get an invite, but there's about a 7 or 8 month waiting time at that level at the moment. In terms of the New South Wales criteria, at the moment it's relatively simple, except this competition is so much to get New South Wales sponsorship that they are not listed on their website, but they are asking for significant work experience or very good English marks. We'll have to see the new criteria after the 1st of July 2016 in order to see what states accountants and management accountants might get invited into. And as soon as we hear about that, we'll put that up on our Facebook page and in our newsletter. In terms of what do we charge, for points test applications, we charge $3,500 plus GST, and we charge 25% initially, 25% when you get an invite, which is really a critical stage, and then 50% when we lodge your visa application. So if you never get an invite, the fee is just 25%. Certainly we do a very good job in terms of managing applications. You don't need to use an agent in order to lodge a skilled application, but certainly if you want some help, we're very happy to hear from you. Okay, next question, straight to the point. I've got a positive skills assessment from Engineers Australia as a chemical engineer. I can get to 60 points. How long does it take to get an invite at 60 points? I haven't completed my Masters in Australia. Will that have any impact to get an invitation for a 189 visa? Okay, so engineers at 60 points at the moment are getting an invite within one round, so around 2 weeks, so that's pretty good. It doesn't matter you haven't finished your Australian studies, except that you can't claim 5 points if you haven't completed the 2-year study requirement in Australia. So if you're not claiming those 5 points, it doesn't matter, you can still apply. Yeah, it takes around 2 weeks at the moment. Okay, I'm on a 457 visa for 10 months as a restaurant manager. I got an offer from a petrol pump for RSMS as a retail manager. I'm wondering if I can use my work experience as a restaurant manager to apply for the RSMS as a retail manager. Alright, so the qualification for RSMS for a retail manager is a AQF diploma in business management, etc., or 3 years full-time work experience. So 10 months as a restaurant manager is neither of those. So if you have got an AQF diploma in management or business, that should be okay for retail manager. No further work experience is required after that. What you need to make sure though is that it really is a full-time retail manager. It's not just that you are the manager and hey, it employs 2 or 3 people. It has to be that your full-time work in that business is management, marketing, advertising, staff recruitment, budget, finance, all those major decisions must be your full-time work. You can't be serving customers a significant amount of the time because then you're not a full-time retail manager. Okay, hi Iscah, as per your post regarding the sole list, it says accountant is on the flag list. My query is if I apply for internal auditor or external auditor, what are the chances to get an invite by June or July? Okay, the chances of getting an invite by June are a duck egg. Okay, all the places have been used, all 1,000, so you won't get an invite in June. After the 1st of July, external auditor, internal auditor have been included on the skilled occupation list again. So we expect there'll be a certain amount of places. Last year there was 1,000. At 1,000 places, I can't see a 60-pointer EOI getting an invite if they've just lodged the EOI in the last, say, 5 or 6 months. I think 1,000 places will go before that. There'll be people at 70, but a lot at 65, and a lot at 60 who lodged the EOI back in June and July last year. Alright, so you can lodge at 60 points now, but I don't think you get an invite as an internal auditor or external auditor. But hey, it doesn't cost anything to lodge an EOI, so you can put it in and see how you go. I gave my IELTS on the 13th of November 2014. My degree finishes in November 2017. Do I have to do a new IELTS for the 485 visa? So assuming your IELTS marks were good enough, which is 6 average, at least 5 in each, then the IELTS must be less than 3 years old on the day you lodge your 485 visa. So your IELTS was 13th of November 2017. You must lodge before the 13th of November. Sorry, your IELTS was 13th of November 2014. You must lodge your 485 before 13th of November 2017. If you're not going to get your results till after then, simple, you need to do a new English test, IELTS, Pearson, Cambridge, OET, TOEFL, quite a few tests now. Okay, I've got a question about sponsorship for PR. I was wondering if a small organisation or a new investor in Australia is able to sponsor an IT employee for PR directly. Okay, so in most cases, if it's going to be permanent resident straight away, it may well have to be in a regional area, depending on the person's work experience. But the important thing is that it must be a permanent computing IT position. So permanent as in full-time. There must be full-time IT duties. If it's a really small business, let's say you're an engineering company or an accounting company or some sort of office supplies company, you don't normally need a full-time IT person. You'll need someone doing IT skills, but it's normally not a full-time IT job. They're talking about a small organisation here. So if the business actually does provide IT services, sure, they probably need an IT person full-time because they're providing IT services all the time to other clients. But if it's a business that's not IT as its main type of service or product, then it's very hard to show it needs to be a full-time IT person. They normally don't need a full-time IT person or a full-time accountant. People share their jobs a little bit. But certainly if you put in a description and can prove it's full-time IT, that's all the immigration want to see. You've got to prove it though. Okay, I was born on the 1st of January 1985. And I want to know if I apply in 2017, will I still get the full 30 points for my age? So born 1 January 85, add 33 years to that is 1 January 2018. As long as you apply before that date, you'll get the full 30 points under the current points test. So 32 and 11 months is okay. Hi sir, I've completed my MBA and I've got 1 year assistant manager experience from a retail shop, 6 in each band. Any chance for a 489 visa in the Southern Inland or any other area? Okay, so retail manager is not on the school occupation list. It's also not on the CSOL. So it's actually not possible to be on any state list because the states can only choose retail manager off the CSOL. So no, you need company sponsorship under retail manager, and that's only going to work through RSMS because you can't get a 457 also as a retail manager. Good morning. What can I do if my employer doesn't want to get to me the documents for the residence after 2 years under a 457? Okay, so normally people on a 457 for 2 years will go to 186 permanent residence, the TRT pathway, and they're sort of hanging out hoping to get that invite. If an employer turns around and says, look, I'm not going to support you after 2 years, your options are really limited, certainly with that company. If you still want to get permanent residence through your skills, you're likely to have to find a new 457 sponsor and go another 2 years with that company because your past 2 years won't count under the current rules. Or apply under the points test. You haven't really mentioned what your occupation is here, so maybe you can apply under the points test, but if you email us your CV, we're happy to have a look at it and tell you what the points test options are. Okay folks, that's it for this week. Remember, the rules are always changing, so if you have any questions, get in touch with us at www.iscah.com for a consultation, answer to a question, or find out how we can help you with managing your visa application. I will talk to you soon.